Putazos y Pendejadas Podcast.
It was an exciting main event at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. Dalton Smith proved many doubters wrong by stopping the dangerous WBC champion Subriel Matias by fifth round TKO. In a minute, Mark, we're going to give a little breakdown of the fight, and then we'll talk about the 140-pound division and give our own little top 10 on it. Just really quick, man, what did you think of that fight on Saturday?
It was surprisingly great. We didn't think it was going to end up like this, but when you're just going to see a ball game, you don't think much of it, and it turns into a war, man, it makes it that much better. Really, really exciting. But you were there, man. How exciting was it live?
Dude, there must have been about 5,000 seats filled in the Barclays Center, maybe less. There's no doubt this event struggled at the gate, but during that main event, it sounded like there were 10,000 fans in the building. It was an action-packed fight, as most fights with Matias are, and I also expected Matias to win. I didn't think Dalton Smith was going to win. I knew he could, or he had a chance to beat Matias, but what was really surprising to me, or the most surprising, was how he won. When it came to crunch time, Mark, Dalton Smith, he stayed in that kitchen, man. He banged it out with Matias, and that's usually a fool's errand. Not many people survive a fight with Matias using that strategy. How surprised were you that Dalton Smith fought the fight that he did and won it?
Very surprised, man. Like I said, I compared it to just any old Sunday afternoon ball game that, sometimes you get the underdog that surprises you. And it was surprising right out the bat in the first round. He surprised us with two big right hooks. And, David, you always say something to me all the time, and it sticks to me. You always say this, and a lot of people do, right? Don't hook with a hooker. But that's Subriel's thing, man. He's a hooker and he's an uppercutter, and most people won't hook with him. Well, Dalton did hook with a hooker, and he was successful. Subriel wants that. He always wants you to fight his game, and usually he wears them down and beats them. But, man, that just played right into Dalton's hands. So it was all bad for him, surprisingly. And it was entertaining because Subriel's a dog too. And he did his thing as well. But man, it's always great, when you're just going to sit down and see a regular, ball game on a Sunday afternoon, and it becomes a classic. And that's what this was. It was a classic, man. It was a great one. Definitely one of the top fights between the Brits and Puerto Rico, man. Excellent. I would love to see it again, but I don't know what's going to happen. We'll talk about that down the line.
Going into this fight, I thought Smith was going to have to stay on the outside and pick Matias apart, right? He was going to have to fight in spurts, but get out of there and avoid trading with Matias for too long. And he looked like he was doing that in the first round, the first couple of rounds. But then right at round 3, man, that strategy went out the window, and he stayed in the pocket with Matias, and they were trading. And I was like, oh, I was just like this. Man, here we go. It's about to go down, and we're about to see a slaughter, right? But that wasn't the case. And like you, not only was I surprised by the action of the fight, I was surprised by what Dalton Smith showed us. Like, that dude not only has the skills, he has the speed, he has some power, but he's got all the intangibles too. He's got heart. He knows how to respond in adversity. And that dude's got some huevos, man. And he went in there and dogged it out with one of the toughest, most dangerous men in the 140-pound division. Quick things that stood out to me. I don't know if you noticed this during the fight. Dalton Smith started kind of clinching and wrestling with Matias. I thought that was a signal that he was already fatigued. But it turned out, as you start watching it more, really what Dalton was doing, he wasn't tired. I mean, yeah, he was kind of breathing heavy. He was working. But what really he was doing is he was smothering Matias's work on the inside, taking a little bit of edge off of that power so it wouldn't hurt him that much. And it was really pretty smart. I mean, I think it was more of the heat of the battle got to him. So he, that was his response to it. But it really turned out to work for him as he was able to get his shots off, man. And another thing, I don't know what in store for Matias in the future. He did make it sound like he wants to continue fighting, and he will be back. Whatever he does next, he needs to work on his defense. I just never seen a man have both hands up, right, and still get hit clean. Like I don't know, man, what was going on there, but Dalton was still getting through, landing clean on Matias, even though he's trying to block the shots. Something's got to change in the camp. Matias needs to work on some defense because that style is not meant to last a long time. And we're already, he's 33 years old. So there's some more work to be done. But, congrats to Dalton Smith. It was his night. And with that win, Mark, he obviously moves up the ranks in the junior welterweight division. We're going to talk about those rankings in a second. But it turns out Dalton Smith's next fight is already determined because we know the WBC had said that the winner of Smith versus Matias is going to have to face Alberto Puello. Now, Smith versus Puello sounds like a pretty good matchup to me, but Smith just showing us, Mark, he has an extra gear. And to be honest, I might be caught up in the moment. I'll admit that. But after Saturday, I like Smith in that fight. You're big on Puello. And I know you thought that he deserved to win his fight versus Matias. If Smith faces Puello next, Mark, who do you like in that one?
Oh, I like Puello all day, man. As long as he implements the same plan he did with Subriel, he should beat him and beat him easy. Maybe even stop him. Because remember, he uses the distance, but when he bangs with you, he'll bang with you. He'll take that risk sometimes. And he had Subriel hurt a few times there.
Yeah.
Maybe
he can crack.
Maybe he could beat and maybe even stop Dalton. I like this fight for him, and I'd love it in Europe. It'd be a big fight over there.
Oh, for sure. And man, dude, I noticed there was a whole section of UK fans waving around the Union Jack flag, man. They had it out there, and they were, I say this all the time, dude. The best fans in boxing are the UK fans.
By far.
They ride or die for their guy, and they will travel far and wide. It's really fun to be in an arena with UK fans, and they were there for Dalton Smith, man, and they were loud. That would be an amazing fight if they were to take it to the UK. Looking at the junior welterweight division in 2026, the 140 pounders, they've been one of the best division in boxing for the last few years. Even after losing big names like Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, there's still a lot of great matchups to be made. Let's look at the ring rankings right now. And just a real quick disclosure for everybody. I hold a lot of respect for the people at the ring. I don't claim to know more than any of those guys up there. I'm just a boxing fan who loves to watch boxing. Mark, you and I, same way. That said, though, I do have some different thoughts on who should be in the top 10. This list, Mark, I don't differ too much on it, but I do have a couple of different rankings here. I've got Puello at 3, Gary Antoine Russell at 4, and then Sandor Martin at 5. I've got Adam Azim at number 6. He's on a 5 KO win streak, and he faces Gustavo Lemos on January 31st. Oscar Duarte at 7. For some reason, he was left off the ring rankings, Mark, but he's ranked in the top 10 of all the sanctioning body rankings, so I don't know why he was left off. Then another guy was left off, Jermaine Ortiz, nowhere to be found in the rings rankings, but he's ranked in the top 10 in 3 of the 4 sanctioning bodies, so I think he deserves a spot in there as well. At 9, I have no problem with Lindolfo Delgado. Still not sold on the guy, but he has 2 close wins over some decent competition. But, it is what it is. Then we've got 10, Arnold Barbosa, and that's mainly because of his fight and performance versus Devin Haney. I almost took him off the list, but I couldn't think of anyone to put ahead of him. He did earn his way into the top 10. Outside looking in, the guy Tito Mercado. Both Shakur and Keyshawn Davis have big fights at 140 coming up. So they win their fights. They'll be coming into the top 10 rankings. Of course, Subriel Matias can get back in as well if he gets a big win soon. And Isaac Cruz, if he ever gets a win over a top 10 guy, he'll be in the rankings as well. So what about your list, Mark? Who do you have?
I like your list, man. Pretty good. I did leave some guys off. Few changes. On my list, I always have champions 1 through 4. I rank them that way, but they're champs, so they're there. Everybody does it their own way. This is my way. Teofimo Lopez is the champion because he has the WBO and the ring, and ring usually defines who's the guy in that division. Then you got Richard Hitchens at number 1, Gary Antoine Russell at number 2, and not a lot defines it. Like, there's not a lot that spreads these guys. They're very close. Richard Hitchens and Gary Antoine, I mean, it's by a hair. They're very close. I would even go 1A, but, you know, he's number 2. Dalton Smith, number 3. He beat Subriel in big-time fashion, man. Like you said, Isaac Cruz, number 4. He's the WBC interim champion. So there he is. Lamont Roach has probably had the most successful year in boxing where you don't have a win. 2 draws in 2 huge events for Lamont Roach. Alberto Puello, man, he can compete with any of these guys and possibly beat them all. You know, he did lose Subriel, but he's that dangerous, La Vispa, man. Fighting in the distance or fighting inside. And also the fundamentals, man. The fundamentals. Jermaine Ortiz has only lost to 2, and 2 of the 2 champions in this division. And he can compete with all of them, man. I talked to him, and we have an interview here on Jermaine. Go out, take a look at it. It was back in, I believe, October in Orlando, and he fought a stay busy fight on a prelim on Box Lab Promotions in Orlando. Why? Just to stay busy, man. You know, that Mike Tyson style. Just fight. And he fought twice like that this year. And he fought at about 143. He looked chiseled, ready to go. I like him. He's number 8. I appreciate you have him on your list too, man. A lot of people don't think much of him. Oscar Duarte, number 9, man. Tough as nails. And he's got to be up there. He can compete with any of them. Lindolfo Delgado from Linares, Nuevo León. Really big time fighter out of Garcia. Hell, he can knock any of these guys out, man. He's got power. And also Tito Mercado is up there as well. Power in both hands. Very, very dangerous fighter, Tito Mercado. Look out for this guy. He is the new boogeyman of this division. And Tito Mercado can knock any of these guys out. He can knock any of them out. So that's my list there. On the outside looking in, David, like you said, Shakur Stevens hasn't fought yet. But if he was on this list, he'd be right up on at the top of it. But he hasn't fought there officially, so we can't put him on there. He's outside looking in. Subriel, Regis Prograis, who is rumored to probably have a fight with Oscar Duarte, Barbosa, and the rest of them, guys. That's my list. But, man, the 140 division, and, you know, we left Shakur out, but we have a big fight, David, coming up. Teofimo Lopez and Shakur, man. Give me your opinion right now, man. What do you think? Let's go.
I've got to say, dude, when this fight was first signed and announced, I was not excited about it. I thought it was a bad style matchup. Teofimo Lopez, we kind of see him struggle with guys who can move. Shakur Stevenson is that, a guy who can move and counter and really slow down the pace of a fight. So, I wasn't really looking forward to it, man. I was thinking, man, this fight's it's going to be a snoozer. As we've gotten closer to the fight, I'm starting to get more and more excited about it, because the more I think about it, it's not always true, but when you have 2 fighters that have a strong amateur background or high amateur pedigrees, which Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez both do, they tend to be very competitive when they finally get in the ring in the pros. And I think that's what we're going to see on January 31st. I think the moment, the confidence, the egos, it's all going to come out, and it's going to create a perfect storm for a good fight, even when the styles kind of show us that it shouldn't be a good fight. So I think it's going to be a good one. It might be a high-speed chess match, but it'll be a good one. I think I'm going to go with Lopez, man. I like Lopez. I think we've seen it time and time again with him. When the stakes are high, he puts up his best effort. I think he's a more athletic fighter. I think he's on par with speed. Maybe Shakur might be a little bit faster, but I think speed-wise, I think Lopez is right nip and tuck with Stevenson. So I'm going to go with Lopez on this one, man.
This is a great fight, man. Like 140 division, bro. 140 division. It's a great fight. I'm excited for it. You got two guys, like you said, big time amateur careers, highly decorated amateur careers. Both came up the top rank way. Both have big game championship experience up there. They got a different set of skills, each of them, but both of them implement them really, really well. Teofimo Lopez with high level athleticism, ridiculously high. I mean, he's probably the best athlete in boxing. Then you have Shakur Stevens with that high IQ and the great defensive, boring type of fight that people don't like. Shakur's going to have to, with his high IQ and his great defense, somehow find a way to slow it down, or at least find a pace, to control the fight and intelligently beat him in a decision. So I got Shakur Stevens, but it's going to be exciting because, like I said, he's going to try to make it, very boring and try to score points. But Teofimo Lopez is not going to let that happen. He's going to find them. And in some points, Shakur's going to have to bang with him. And he can, he can bang with him. He's got to be more intelligent and figure out a way to just make it a slow pace fight, and he'll be okay. I got Shakur, but man, 140, it's steaming.
I hope what you said doesn't happen. I don't want to see a slow pace fight. I really, really don't. I'm hoping that we see a little bit, just a bit. We don't need to see this full thing, but if we could see just a little bit of what Shakur did with Cepeda, if we could just see a little bit of that, just mix in a little sprinkling every round of some of that, because that was some good stuff that we saw from Shakur. He got a little reckless, and I'll even admit he overdid it trying to prove a point with Cepeda, and he got hit when he didn't need to get hit. But I think if he just turned it down a notch to about a 7 from that fight, that would be a really good mix. And I think that would create a very entertaining, high-level type of fight that everyone, even the boxing purists, will be able to enjoy. Your average fan and the purist will be able to enjoy something like that. So I hope Shakur doesn't listen to what you just said and do what you said. I hope we see a little bit of the Cepeda mixed in with, obviously, the defensive skills that he has. Mark, before we wrap this up, and I'm throwing this at you, so I might catch you cold here. If you had any fight to make off of this list, who would it be? Off of your list.
Wow.
Did I catch you off guard?
Yeah, no. I'd like to see Gary Antoine Russell and Jermaine Ortiz. I think that would be a hell of a fight.
Ooh, okay.
Jermaine Ortiz does have a good relationship with the WBA. He spends a lot of time in Florida. That's why he's always fighting at the Crib Royale. That's a very makeable fight. Gary has a great relationship with them too. That's a good matchup that can happen. There's a lot of familiar people who do business with each other, and that would be great. That would be a great matchup. I'd like to see that.
Okay, I've got 2 on mine. All right, and they both involve Gary Antoine Russell. I'd like to see Gary Antoine Russell versus Dalton Smith. I think we'd see some banging in that fight. And if not, Gary Antoine Russell versus Oscar Duarte. I think that would also be a hell of a show and a good action fight. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's just a wish list for 2026. Don't know if any of those fights are on the horizon or even possible. Hopefully, we do see some good fights to be made, and these top 10 guys do fight each other, because I do like what I see in this division. Mark, we've got to do this again with some of the other divisions. What is the next division you want to focus in on and look at the rankings for?
Well, Gary's got brothers, a whole lot of them. Let's pick one where one of the Russells are in, right? 130, man, 130. I love that division. It's getting really, really hot. We got a lot of names at 130 pounds. Worldwide names. It's an excellent division to break down, man. That should be our next one, David.
Yes, I like that. 130 is an awesome division. I think we should definitely look at that. We got a couple of big fights coming up in that division as well. All right. Well, we're going to wrap it up right there, folks. 2026 is looking like it's going to be a great year in boxing. A lot of good fights coming up. Stay tuned. Make sure you check in with us. Mark, any last words?
Yeah, we're almost at 2,000, guys. Make sure you tell your friends to subscribe to PYP Boxing. Thank you. We'll see you on the next one.
Peace.